much is that doggy in the window? A question I'm sure not only Patty Page has asked, but I doubt that you'd figure the answer would be, I don't know, about as much as the bottomless pit of greed that a puppy mill can have. Puppy mills. Just the word makes my skin crawl. See, if you're a dog lover of any kind, it should make yours too. The whole concept of mass-producing dogs just to sell them makes living in the doghouse look like a luxury palace. And it's a very sad, very real thing that happens across the globe and even within arm's reach here. As I've said many times, I'm the daughter of a golden doodle breeder, and that being said, I know the difference between good breeders and mills where things are terrible. I had the unfortunate experience of actually finding a puppy mill when I was with my mom when I was about 10, and the things I saw I will never unsee. They are awful, awful places, and I'm going to explain why. So, I know what you're thinking. I keep building it up. I'm saying, oh, these places are awful, so why wouldn't you want to save the dogs that are in there? Just get them out. You can get a friend for life. You can be a hero. It'd be great. No, it wouldn't be great. And I'll explain why you should avoid these places altogether, even if it means leaving a dog behind. Buckle in, kids. This is going to get depressing. So I'll try to keep everything light. But first I'm going to talk about what a puppy mill is and what the warning signs are for coming in contact with one. Then I'll talk about where puppy mills can be sold in plain sight and why you shouldn't buy them, why you shouldn't rescue them, and what it means if you don't, and what it would do if you did. In a few choice words, is utterly disgusting. They are remarkable in how they can hide in plain sight, which is horrible and terrifying. But there are some key warning signs that you should look out for if you think that you may have encountered a puppy mill situation. So what are they? Well, puppy mills are dog breeding facilities for mass production. It's awful. There's cages upon cages of dogs who don't know what outside is. They only know that they sleep in this tiny little box, they pee in this tiny little box, they poop in this box, and then they sleep in that. That's what their lives are. This is what their lives are. Horrible cages. This little guy's probably never seen what grass is. He's probably been living in a barn his entire life. That's great. I'm so happy with that's a thing. But I had the unfortunate experience of seeing a puppy mill when I was younger, as I had mentioned. I gotta take a minute. I will never forget what I saw. It was just this barn full of dogs, and the owner was kind of a pizza chestnut, to keep it PG. They were like, oh, it's beer time, great. It was 12 in the afternoon, and I remember going in there, and there's this big dog that was growling at us, and the breeder's like, oh, don't go near him, he's mean. We just use him for breeding. What? you use the mean dog for breeding? Okay, yeah, sure. That's totally a good thing that you have this dog that you know is aggressive. It's only for breeding. Fine. I don't care. And I'm not the only one who doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care about what happens to their dogs. They don't care about the conditions that they have them in. They will let these dogs just sleep in the swaller. They ruin the image of like, oh, cute little dog breeding facility, little countryside barn. Yeah, there's a barn, but there's horrendous things happening inside it. And people don't realize it because they're like, oh, it's just a barn. You wouldn't even think. There's a place in Kakana or Kimberly, sorry. Kimberly that does this. And it's horrible. This happens on the daily. This is the thing that we fear most. This is what gives breeders a bad name. This puppy mill thing. This disgusting squalor and dogs packed on dogs and how little they care about the animals. How they'll just send 6-week or younger puppies off into the world. It's good enough. They're old enough. No, they're not. They'll have issues, but they don't care. Their purpose is to make money off dogs. Dogs' lives, dogs' suffering. That's what they do. Puppy mills are gross, horrible places, and those are some of the key warning signs for identifying them, now that I've cooled off. So look out for those if you think you've encountered one of those situations. But they kind of, as I said, hide in plain sight, and people may not know that they're indirectly supporting them by purchasing dogs from them. But where would these dogs come from? Pet stores. Yeah, pet stores. You know, the place where you think like, oh, it has all the health things I need for my dogs. No, they will sell you puppy mill puppies, but they don't necessarily know that they're doing that. Paws, an organization dedicated to helping animals, especially those suffering in horrible situations like mills, gives a statistic that about 90% of puppies from pet stores come from puppy mills. That's crazy. See, the thing is with pet stores, they kind of go off a, good terms thing. Like, I don't know what they call it specifically, but it's basically saying, like, oh, hey, are you a puppy mill? Puppy mill is like, nope, we have a clean facility and all our dogs are super happy and get time to run and play. And pet store's like, cool, bro, I got you. I know you're telling the truth, and they are not. They don't investigate it. That's why puppy mills still are a thing. Why they are still popularized almost. Why they haven't been eliminated. Because there's no research done into any of this. Pet stores are like, cool, you got this. I trust you. Yeah, no, most breeders will not sell a pet store a puppy. You know why? Because breeders, they can sell their own dogs. They know their program. Pet stores will undersell their dogs if they're a good breeder. Puppy mills just want to make that quick buck, so they'll send them off to anywhere, to anyone. Really, really nice practice, isn't it? Makes me mad. That being said, most pets you'll get from a pet store that come from puppy mills will have a lot of issues. They will have both physical ones and kind of mental ones too. So physical ones are not limited to dysplasia of hips, elbows, whatever, anything that bends pretty much. They can have diabetes, kidney issues, bladder issues. Could have worms, just gross diseases that they would have picked up from their old environment. And then they have the behavioral ones. Potty training will be especially hard for somebody who has a puppy mill puppy because all of their lives they've been peeing where they sleep. So they wouldn't think it any different to pee in your house even if they're sleeping right there. They don't know. They don't know what it is to be outside. They also may or may not have food aggression because they've probably been malnourished. They wouldn't have gotten enough because it's hard to feed a lot of dogs. And they could also be shy. They could shake. And they could have pretty much any kind of mental issue. They could have trauma depending on if they got attacked by other dogs, like they snapped and like... This is the source of pretty much every behavioral problem that there could be for a dog. Puppy mills. They create problems. So if you're buying a cute little pet store puppy, be aware of the fact that more often than not, it could be from a mill. and you don't want to support that. And I know how horrible these things are that hide in plain sight, and I'm sure that you want some justice for this, right? But this is the hardest thing to do, and that would be to do nothing. See, I know seeing a dog suffering is not something easy. It's not something you can walk away from, especially if you love them. You love little Fido and little Fifi, your little babies. You want to save the dogs that you see suffering in a puppy mill, but doing that will not be a solution to the long-term problem. Yes, you'll save one dog and you'll feel like a hero. You'll gain a companion, but that companion could, as I said, have health issues and may not live a long, fulfilling life. And if you were to support a puppy mill by buying a dog from them to rescue it, or buying one from a pet store, you think you're doing it justice, but you're not. You are supporting puppy mills. You are supporting the beast that will breed these dogs until they die. You are supporting cages upon cages of dogs. You are giving them the profit that they desire in order to keep going on with this. And the best way to stop it is to do nothing. Because if you snuff out a business, it goes out of business. If you don't buy the product, which it's horrible to say that a dog is a product, I know, then they can't continue on. So instead of trying to rescue a dog from a mill, try getting one from a shelter, because those are rescues. Or find a good, reputable breeder who does their research, who cares about their dogs, who loves them more than anything. And by doing that, then maybe we could stop this. Maybe we could get rid of dogs altogether. Dogs and puppy mills, not dogs altogether. My goodness. Love dogs. But hopefully by doing this, we could get rid of the question of how much is that doggy in the window? Because there will be no more doggies in the window. There'll be doggies that are healthy, happy, and grew up under the sun. Thank you.